You know, we tend to think that the biggest mysteries in life come from the biggest minds. Take Albert Einstein, for example. Now, here was a guy who completely reimagined the universe. Time slows down, space bends, reality itself is flexible, and yet, he never wore socks. Not because he was making a statement, not because of some bold scientific principle. It was because his big toe kept poking holes in them. So he just gave up. And we love that. It's a reminder that the extraordinary and the ordinary are always living side by side. And that's where this podcast comes in. We look at the everyday things in our lives, the stuff we barely notice, and ask,
wait, what?
Because sometimes the most interesting mysteries are not hidden in deep space. They're hiding right under the surface, maybe in your sock drawer. So welcome to the podcast that answers some of the questions you've always wondered about.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for joining us. As this episode debuts, we're just a couple of days away from February. Or depending on when you're listening, maybe it already is February. Either way, our question still stands. Have you always wondered why February is the shortest month of the year? I mean, what did February do to deserve this?
I don't understand. I show up on time every year. I attend all the calendar family reunions, but I'm forever stuck at the kids' table.
For the answer, we once again rewind to ancient Rome. Once upon a time, the Roman calendar only had 10 months. Winter wasn't even worth mentioning. They were like,
Look, it's cold. We'll deal with it later.
But they did eventually add both January and February. However, in order to make the calendar work, February got the short end of the stick.
28 days? That's it? Maybe I could just borrow a couple days from somewhere? Like April 6th or August 17th. No one would really miss those, right?
But it wasn't all bad news. Because according to the early Roman calendar, the new year began in March. So that originally made February the last month of the year.
That's right. I was the big finale. I was the mic drop.
And it all kind of made sense. Because February was named for the festival of Februa, a time of spiritual cleansing. However, when Julius Caesar came along, things took a turn.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, we have moved the start of the year to January.
So when that happened, February was like...
Wait, so I'm second now? That's like January leftovers.
And the final insult? February is the hardest month to pronounce correctly.
In case you haven't noticed, I have 2 R's in my name. It's Feb-ru, not Feb-you.
So there you have it. February. Short on days, short on respect, and forever correcting people in its head.
Oh, on second thought, say it however you want. I'll be gone before you figure it out anyway.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Okay, we've all seen some unusual dances over the years. The mashed potato, the sprinkler, that one time at a family wedding where your cousin Ernie got on the floor to do the worm. But have you always wondered, was there ever a time when dancing went completely off the rails? Well, put your boogie shoes on for the weird but true story of the dancing plague of 1518. The place was Strasbourg in what's now modern-day France. It started innocently enough. One woman, Frau Trophia, walks onto the street and starts dancing. No drum beat, no lute, not even a disc jockey.
Yeah, turns out that DJ Ye Old Vibes was already booked.
Well, Frau dances not for hours, but for days. Then others join in. The days stretch into weeks, and before long, nearly 400 people are cutting loose like it's a Renaissance wedding reception that just won't end.
For a minute, I thought I was binge-watching old episodes of Soul Train.
But it wasn't joyful dancing. It was sweating, collapsing, heart giving out kind of dancing. People were literally dancing themselves to death.
Which is strange. That normally only happens at weddings with an open bar.
City officials didn't know what to do. So in their infinite wisdom, they said,
The people are dancing, so obviously we need more dancing.
Yeah, they encouraged the dancers. They built stages, hired musicians.
We thought about a choreographer, but couldn't find one on such short notice.
But what exactly caused the dancing plague of 1518? Well, one theory points to ergot poisoning. That's a fungus that grows on rye and can cause hallucinations.
Scientifically, that would be medieval LSD disguised as bread.
Some believed it to be a curse from Saint Vitus. Apparently he was angry, but instead of sending a strongly worded email, he forced people to dance. But the most plausible theory is mass psychogenic illness. It was a time of famine, disease, and constant stress. So when the hysteria kicked in, the brain basically said,
I can't handle this. Let's do the Macarena.
So how did it all end? Well, after nearly 2 months and dozens of deaths, some reports say over 100, the city elders wised up and shut it all down. They banned dancing and took the dancers to the shrine of St. Vitus, the same guy who may have caused it all in the first place. After a lot of prayer and healthy doses of holy water, cooler heads prevailed and the dancing lost its grip.
I guess in hindsight, we should have stretched first.
But the good news is, there is no modern outbreak of uncontrollable dancing today. However, we still do have TikTok. So my advice would be this. If dancing suddenly breaks out in the street, don't panic. First check to see if someone is filming. If yes, it's just content. If no, you might want to run.
The Always Wondered Podcast.
It's one of those products we use all the time, but there's an air of mystery about it. So have you always wondered, what does the Q stand for in Q-tips?
I bet it's quantum, because they're small and can be in many places at the same time.
No.
Quintessential, because no medicine cabinet should be without them.
Nope.
All right, then how about quesadilla?
Wait, why do you say that?
I don't know, I just like quesadillas.
Not that either. In fact, for this Q&A, we have to go back to the 1920s. Meet Leo Gerstenzang, a man watching his wife do something that would change ear history forever.
Dear, what are you doing?
I'm cleaning the baby.
With cotton? On a toothpick?
Now, Leo's first reaction could have been something like alarm over the fact that his wife was poking their newborn child with a toothpick, but it turns out his first thought may have actually been,
I can monetize this.
So Leo created the cotton swab. Initially, it was a tiny wooden stick with the cotton already attached on both ends, but eventually it would become the more flexible paper applicator. Now for the name. Leo originally called them baby gays.
What?
Okay, it was a different time and words had different meanings, all right? But eventually the product was renamed Q-tips. Now, for the big reveal. The Q in Q-tips stands for quality.
That's it?
Yep,
This big build-up, and that's what you give us?
I don't know. Just reporting the facts, okay?
Maybe it should have stood for quit while you're ahead.
So mystery solved. No secret society, no ancient Latin, just a guy who saw a toothpick near an ear canal and said,
I think I can make that safer.
And by the way, we've all been warned not to use Q-tips to clean the inside of your ear. But come on, who are we kidding? Thanks to Leo Gerstenzang, we will probably continue to do just that until the end of time.
The Always Wondered Podcast.
Well, that is going to wrap up another episode of Always Wondered. If you haven't done so yet, please hit subscribe. Oh, in fact, we just got a text from your future you. They said that subscribing was a great idea. So maybe listen to yourself and go for it. A reminder that new episodes drop every Friday, and in between times, you can always find little videos on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. All the links are up on Facebook.com/alwayswondered. All right. As always, we leave you with one to ponder. Have you always wondered why we say something is awfully good? I mean, was it so good that it became terrible? I don't know. Until next time, stay curious and keep wondering. I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for listening.
The Always Wondered Podcast.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and a review. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to offer suggestions for future topics or simply reach out to alwayswonderedpodcast@gmail.com.